Hi, I'm Sam, and today I'm going to be testing out the Odin gene editing CRISPR kit, and it just came in the mail today, so I'm pretty excited for it. I'll try to start the first part of the experiment, which is having the agar solution, which you would first take the agar powder and then put it into the bottle, and put 150 milliliters of water, and then mix it around and dissolve it, and I'll show you that process, but it should turn clear yellow. Something clear yellow, right? Alright, so here we have 150 milliliters, and we're going to add the agar powder that was actually included. And I'll add it, and then we have the agar mixed in with the water, and then we're going to have to put it in the microwave to heat. And when you want to start heating, you actually will heat it for 30 seconds. So now we have the agar inside. We're going to heat it for 30 seconds at a time. And we're going to make sure that the agar doesn't actually bubble over. So yeah, I'll repeat this until I get a dissolved liquid. Now that we have it fully put in the microwave, and we'll let it sit for around 20 minutes, and then we'll check back on it and we'll pour it into our agar plates. So here we have our agar plates, and we have our agar that's been prepared, and I'm just going to fill all the plates up with the agar. Alright, so here we have our agar plates, and they cooled, and there was a lot of condensation, as you can see, so I don't know about that, but they set properly, and now we're going to start to get the bacteria. And first we have to have our bacteria that came in the fridge, that we're supposed to store in the fridge here. That's what we're opening up. And we'll take one of these capsules, and here you can see that if you point it up, you'll be able to see like little bits of the bacteria. And I'll try to get it to where you can see it. No, okay. Well, first we're gonna pipette some water into it. So here I have my water, and I'm gonna pipette 100 microliters. Alright. And then I'm going to take my bacteria, 100 milliliters, and then you shake it up. So now that you've got your mixed bacteria here, we'll start streaking the bacteria onto the plates. And out of the 7 plates, I only got 5 relatively okay plates because it's the first time. And we'll use one of these, and then we'll just dip it into the bacteria and then streak it. So after we're done streaking our plates, we should let them sit outside and incubate. And it follows the same step as putting the agar in. You'll have to put on the cap and then lay it upside down, like this. Lay it upside down, and then you can just leave it outside room temperature. I'll have these 3 agar plates. I'll leave them over, and in a day, we'll see what happens. Alright, so I've streaked my plates here, and they're ready to go. I streaked 3 of them because the other 2 didn't really want them because they were not flat. This one had like little like hills and stuff, so we're not doing that. So we're just gonna cap the good ones, and then we're going to incubate them. So we first stack them up. So here's my 3, and I'm going to flip them upside down to help them incubate and to make sure that no condensation happens on bacteria. And see you guys in a day. So goodbye. Alright, so it's been a few days, and today we're going to be trying to actually edit the bacteria. So first we're going to have to use a transformation mix, and basically we use it so that the bacteria can actually use its own CRISPR to edit, because it doesn't accept foreign bacteria, it'll destroy it. So first we're going to have to take the transformation mix, and then we have to get 100 milliliters of it. So you got to practice your pipetting. 100 milliliters here. Out. then into one of these tubes that I got that I put on this tray, like so. And I'll do 3. Actually, no, let's do 4. Let's do 4 just for fun. Alright, so now that we got that, let's cap this transformation mix, make sure nothing comes out of them. And then take this tip off, and we're done with that. Next, we're going to actually scoop some of the bacteria we have. So, we got one of these, and they're going to scoop up this bacteria culture. And I left the bacteria for a lot more than it should have been. So after we mix these guys up, we're going to, our 4 tubes up, we're going to have our all of our Crispr components here. And then I took them out of the freezer. You're supposed to freeze them at negative 20 degrees Celsius until you start using them. And right now is the part where I'm starting using them too. So they're now defrosting, and they should be ready to go. So get a new graduated tip and change it all the way down to 10 milliliters. And then pipette 10 milliliters into each tube. Now that I'm done with the steps, I got 4 and I used all of them. I pipetted 10 milliliters, 10 milliliters in to each one of them, and then I swapped tips every single time I pipetted. So now we should incubate them and put them in the fridge. Alright, so after 30 minutes, I got these boys out from the fridge, and we're gonna have to incubate them. And so I got my little tube over here, and I filled it with the warm water, and they said they want it to be warm and to where you can still touch it. So with this, I'm just gonna plop them in. Alright, I think these guys are done incubating, and I'll go empty them out. Alright, so I opened up my tubes now, and I already have the pre-mixed powder from the media, and originally it would look something like this, where it has powder in it, and then I added 1.5 milliliters of water, and that took 15 squeezes with 100 microliters, and we're going to add 500 microliters to each one. Alright, now that they all have added 500 milliliters, I had to use 2 tubes, and one of them still has 1 milliliter, but I got these 4 tubes, and I'm going to leave them out overnight so that they can replenish and actually incorporate all that Crispr jazz, because without the transformation mix, it won't let any of that inside, but with all that, we can have some of that cool stuff happening. And I'll see you in half a day. Bye. It's been half a day, and today we're going to be adding the new mixture that has been incubating to our modified agar, and we're going to see if it actually grows. And let's add all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a pipette and have 200 microliters added to each plate, and then once we add that, we're also going to mix with our little mixer here, these mixers, and yeah, I'll mix them all up and see you in a few minutes. So after I'm done, I have about 8 agar plates that I've added the culture to, that's been modified by the Crispr, and I'll just leave them over here for 1 to 2 days, and we'll check back. Alright, so I've gone through like 2 days of work, of just waiting, and this is how the best one turned out, I'd say. It's got a lot of white dots, and that's kind of what we're aiming for with the actual end product, the end results. Looks very similar. Yeah, so it looks like this, and it's got a lot of white dots, and I'd say this looks pretty close without like the light aspect. If I try to shine it up to a light, it'd probably look the same. Now I had like 7 other dishes, or 6 other dishes, and they all turned out like this, and they had a lot of blob soaring. And the only other one I can get that had like a little bit of white dots on them was, where is it? Almost all of them did have white dots form on them. The problem was they didn't have like this detailed and this much, and they were just all spread out. Like the even some mold grew on it, but I'd say a successful experiment, 1 out of 7. Yeah, that's it. And that concludes my experiment with the Odin CRISPR genome editing product. And the cool thing about this is actually you can edit the gRNA or the guide RNA that they give you, and you can actually make your own. So that's pretty cool. They already had their own gRNA given to us, template RNA, so that works for us too. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty fun experiment. Really lets you know if you're doing something wrong, because then your bacteria would form out something like this if it was correct, and then not so correct. But yeah, it's just a cool little project and something to do at home, like doing it right here in my house, and we can do a lot more cool stuff with the Odin products. They even have like a green yeast edit, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And that concludes my experiment on this CRISPR product.